So we are ready to write on the second page, and the setup will be the same as before. So you will have the writing paper and then followed by 2 pieces of cushion paper underneath. Okay. Now to look at the writing here, you can see that there's no arrows on my copy sheet because I want you to use your brain and think about the ductus. Now ductus in English, it means the sequence of the stroke. So in Western calligraphy, the ductus will always start from the left to the right. Okay, now I'll say this is 100%, so meaning that it will always start from left to the right. Now, most of the time, we start from the top to the bottom. Top to the bottom. Now, this is about 95%. Sometimes it doesn't start that way, but we can always use our thinking, our brain to think about the sequence of the strokes. Now, looking at this word hello, we can have 2 possibilities of where you can start the stroke. So first, it will be either here, or there's a line that is not connected to anything, you can start here. Now, when I think about this, I will use this logic, so left to right, top to bottom. So this is the most left line and also the most highest line to start with, and you go up stroke and coming down. Now downstroke here, we learned that is a thick line, so it makes sense that you should be able to start from this point. Now if, however, we try to go like this way, you start from here up, you will immediately notice that it's not the correct ductus, because if you go up, this should be a relaxed, right? So it should be a thin line. So it will tell us that we should start from up and down and up again into an oval and add pressure here and exit. Now notice that all the entrance stroke and exit strokes are all thin hairline. Now we'll continue, we'll go up and down. This is a thick line, which makes sense, and exit. Now for letter E, you can write, instead of in one stroke, we will divide it into 2. So entrance here, you lift your pen, then you will start here to go further and come down and exit. Now I will demonstrate by using a nib to do the letter E here. So you have the entrance stroke. So instead of keep going, you will from here make it further to the right and come down and exit. So this will create a bigger loop so that the ink doesn't smudge. Now the incorrect way is you go up in one single stroke, and you notice that when you press, the loop here is covered by ink. So similarly for letter L, so any alphabet that has a loop, you will think the same way. So you write the same way. So you will be exiting here. Instead of keep going, you will extend the loop to the right, create some space and come down. Up here, extend the space and come down. And then you form the oval. And this is a small dot, press and exit. Now back to with a nib. You come down, gradually adding pressure, following the oval, add pressure and exit. Now make sure you exit with a hairline. Then go up, relax, following the curve, gradually come down, adding pressure and exit. Now for E, we need to create a bigger loop. Same for L. Extend, come down, add pressure, and exit. form an oval, press, and exit. Now, if we want to look at the letter O, I'll demonstrate and make it bigger. So we create the oval. And then when you press, basically, this is like a half circle. So imagine there's no ink, just the outline. And this is like a half circle, and you exit. All right, one more time. So remember, just normal breathing and no need to rush because you really want your hand to follow the lines. Add pressure. Add pressure and exit. Now notice that I actually reduce my pressure here so that when I hit the baseline, it's very, very, very thin. Make a loop, come down, exit. And form the oval, press and exit like so. Now moving on to the next word is goodbye. So we can use the same concept of the ductus. So if we start on the left, on the top, so that will be the line that we should start, but there's another possibility, which is here. So let's do some thinking. So first, if we start from here, you will notice this is a downstroke, and notice that this is thick. So it means that it should be the correct way. Now, what about here? If we start here going up, you will notice that this is thick. And if we are going up, it should be thin. So that tells us that this is not the way to start. We should be starting from here. Now we go straight to the nib. Remember, always make sure your nib is parallel to the slant. So you can adjust by moving the page. For right-handed calligraphy, you can tilt it anti-clockwise. Now start with a thin hairline, so no pressure, and add a little bit pressure and reduce. Follow the line, go up, gradually adding pressure, and we'll lift here. Now notice this is a thin line, so it tells us that we need to separate them into two strokes. So start thin, thicker, and back to thin. Entrance stroke, press, go up, press, exit. Press, go up, press, exit. Another oval. Now for letter D, it's formed by an oval, and then you have a downstroke, and you exit. Now because B is a loop like a letter L, you want to extend it, come down, and go up. And for the little dot, you just press and exit. Now my ink has run out, so I will get some ink. And you go up and long downstroke. Notice that it gets thinner, so you reduce the pressure here. I would say approximately this area. Now you want to go up, relax, and then exit and form the letter E. I will write this one more time. When ink almost run out, you can see that from the eye or the vent, the indication is that there's nothing inside. So I would dip it. Extend the loop, gradually adding pressure and reduce and go up and press and exit. A long downstroke, reduce the pressure in advance and go up, relax, and extend the loop for the E. Now we will go to page 3. You can pause this video and then practice a few times the hello and goodbye, and we'll move on to the 3rd page. Now we are moving on to the 3rd page of the practice. So the setup will be the same. So you have the writing paper followed by 2 pieces of blank cushion paper. The setup is always the same. Now, to write the word thank you, I would suggest for writing letter T, we will start from this direction first. Now the reason is that because when we do this downstroke, by adding pressure and up relax, forming an oval, and adding pressure and exit, and then we'll do the top part. So starting with thin, thick, back to thin, creating an S curve. Now I'll demonstrate once with a nib. Now you notice that by doing this, it gives me, the central line will give me an idea of how long the top line is. Because if this is the center, I have a reference of how long I should go from here to here. So these 2 lines are pretty much the same length. However, if we're starting on the top first, there is no indication of reference. So by the time I stop, I have to make this slightly narrower to make it balance. And also, sometimes, if I make it way too long, it just look out of proportion. You see, this line is very, very long. So the best way is to start from the center line. Now coming back to analyzing the word thank you. So once you have the letter T, then we start with the H. So you have an entrance stroke, then you will extend the loop, come down, you do an overturn, an underturn, forming an oval, another underturn into an overturn. This is another overturn, an underturn, and extend the loop, come down, going up, and forming kind of like a round shape here, and start thin, thick, and thin. Now for you, you will start from here, thin, thick, thin, adding pressure here, and exit. Start with no pressure, adding pressure, come up, draw a circle shape, and press your nib, and the ink will fill in. Entrance stroke, down and up, press, exit, and underturn, and underturn. And I will demonstrate how to write this. So remember thin, thick, and back to thin. Entrance stroke, extend the loop, come down at pressure, overturn, underturn. A is formed by an oval and an underturn and downstroke. This is another overturn into an underturn. Extend the loop, come down, this is a little kind of a round shape here, and start thin, add pressure and exit. For you start thin, thick, up, relax, add pressure, exit, thin, thick, thin. Draw the ball terminal and you press and the ink will fill in. You have an exit stroke, down stroke, up stroke, press, exit. This is an underturn, another underturn. I will demonstrate the Y. You create a ball terminal like so. And when you press, the ink will fill in. Now what we want to avoid doing is to fill it in with ink. So we don't want to do this. So for example, you draw this and then you keep coloring it like this. Now because the reason is, you will notice that the paper fiber has caught into the nib because it's too wet. If this happens, you can simply grab a piece of tissue and simply remove it with the tissue, and the paper fiber will be gone, and you dip into ink again. Moving on to the next word is congrats. So thinking about the ductus, it's very, very obvious that we will be starting from this line. So you will be going from thin, thick, and back to thin into an oval. Notice this is an oval shape, into another oval, and exit. You do the oval, so you down, up, press, overturn, overturn, underturn, form an oval shape, press a long downstroke and reduce pressure and lift. You go up, relax, and exit with the hairline. And for the R, you press a little bit here and come down and press again and exit. An oval, press, exit stroke, press, exit stroke. The S is similar to the R, so you press here and form the right side of the oval and make a ball terminal and press the ink and exit the crossbar. Now I'll do a demonstration with the nib. Go above the waistline and press. exit, followed by an oval, an underturn, another underturn, go above the waistline and press, and then when your nib catch the fiber, remove it immediately and exit. Now the crossbar just light with no pressure. Now I want to explain why the R and the S has a slightly higher entrance stroke. So when you do letter R, you will notice that I go above the waistline, right? So you will press, then you come to the right and come down, adding pressure and exit. So that's the letter R, like that. Now for S, you have the same entrance stroke that go above the waistline and you press, and then you will create the right hand side of an oval. So you will start thin, thick, and back to thin, and draw a circle shape, and you will press so the ink will fill in. And then you can do the exit stroke. So I'll demonstrate one more time. Entrance above the waistline, press, press here, and exit. Now, the reason why R and S are a little bit taller is because of the proportion. So if I write the word sugar, by not making it above the waistline, you will see that it looks very strange because the S and the R is a little bit shorter. Now compared to if I write the S and the R in the correct proportion, which is above the waistline, above the waistline, and you will see that it will look much more proportional. Now we're going to move on to the page 4 after writing. So in the coming video, I'm going to just stay quiet, but we'll give you a couple of reminders. So remember the sitting posture, we must sit up straight. So you want to keep your both hands and arms in the front on the table. Make sure you stay on your writing zone. Make sure that you're holding your pen lightly and just press with your index fingertip when it's needed. Now also make sure that you are breathing normally, calmly while you're writing, and just don't rush into writing. And for the rest of the time, I want you to just simply observe the rhythm that I'm writing. Pay attention to the speed, where I lift the pen, where I add the pressure, and so on.